Hello, hello. Are we live? Let me know how we're doing here, if we are broadcasting. I've got the stream up. Let me know in the chat if y'all can see this. I'm testing a new software, so hopefully this live is a lot smoother than our previous ones. We've had some buffering and some fuzziness, and I really want to do more lives this year. So let's get started. First of all, I know my hair is looking crazy. I just did a speed curl through them. Oh, we're choppy right now. Let me, of course we are. I tested this so many times earlier today, and of course we're choppy. Let me know how this is looking. If not, I will restart it just because we're Oh wait, are we balancing out? Okay, we're just getting it together. Okay, so my husband just logged off his work computer, so I think that will help. That'll help the internet. I don't have to restart. We're just gonna keep going with it. So like I said, today I am going out for my birthday. I just did a curl of my hair. That's why it looks a little crazy right now. But I like to usually let it sit in the tight curls for a while before I brush it out and shake it out into waves. But going out with my friends, my birthday was on Tuesday, and I spent last weekend celebrating with my mom. She was in town, and we did like mother-daughter celebration, and we did a mother-daughter husband and mother-in-law celebration, and now is the final Pisces season celebration for me. Going out with my friends, we're actually going to a drag dinner, a drag show, and I am so excited. So let's start this makeup, shall we? I have most products I have shown on my channel before. I do have 2 new drugstore makeup items to try out, but let's address the elephant in the room. Thank you so much, Chris. I really appreciate the moral support, because my skin, as you can tell, is absolutely wrecked today. And there have been a few things that have contributed to this. First, got my period, of course, and it was like the first one in 2 months because of my birth control. So it was a hormonal disaster. And then I over exfoliated my skin while I was breaking out, which was totally on me. That was a huge mistake, and learn from my mistakes so you don't make them too. And then third, I used an old sunscreen that made me break out everywhere. My face was so itchy. This was 2 days ago. So all of this to say, my skin not only looks crazy right now, but it feels terrible. And so today's routine, because I'm going out and, I want to kind of get glammed up for my birthday, I want to do fuller coverage makeup, but without heavy products. So that's the goal today, using kind of lightweight makeup, sensitive skin friendly makeup, because I kind of ruined my skin barrier with the over exfoliating. That is the goal today. Hopefully you'll stick around for the ride. Let's see who's in the chat before we get started. We have Nini. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Nini. You're so sweet. M Frog is in the house, East Coast. Oh, thanks for popping in during dinner. We've got Chris, we've got Clara. I'm so glad that the stream is looking better now. Let me know how this is going. Again, I'm a little new to live streaming. We've done a few on the channel before, but definitely want to do more, and I want them to be able to be a pleasure to watch and not crazy choppy. Okay, so what we're gonna start out with today is the Milani Conceal and Perfect Blur Out Smoothing Primer. I tested this recently in my review of the Milani Blur Out Foundation Stick, and I really liked it, though those products paired together did get a little bit shiny, but this is a very helpful product in terms of what's going on in my skin right now because it is moisturizing and it also helps minimize texture. So this is what the product looks like if you haven't seen it yet. It is very like mousse whipped. Here, let me get this to focus. Such an interesting texture. You definitely don't need this much. Really, a little dot will do about that much. Now I do have some notes here so that I can make sure that I'm telling you stuff about this product. This is about $13 to $15 depending on where you get it. Now I did try to tag all the products that I planned on using today already on the video, so you can check that out. I find that this is cheaper at like Target versus Ulta, which is usually the case, although sometimes it's easier to order from Ulta because of those rewards points. So this has like a cooling sensation, which first of all feels amazing on my skin right now. And it also has hyaluronic acid and 5% glycerin for moisture. And then 3% niacinamide, which helps support the skin barrier, which is obviously what I need the most right now. And then it also has antioxidant-rich arnica, blue algae, and blue chamomile extract. So overall, this just feels very soothing on the skin. And it also really helps blur the pores, especially in this area for me. But as you can see, I have a lot of texture. I've got these blemishes. They're kind of dry around the redness. So this is just going to kind of help me get a smoother baseline everywhere. Let me pop back into the chat. I know some more people have shown up. We've got Miss Canadian Bacon. Hello, Miss Canadian Bacon. Welcome to the stream. All right, so next, I'm going to be using a couple complexion products that are a little bit more mid-range. They're not drugstore, but I will say both of these products I feel are worth the extra money compared to drugstore. And with drugstore getting so expensive anyway, we're like, you know, certain brands of foundation are getting around the $18 to $20 range anyway. What these offer over current drugstore options, I think, are definitely validating or justifying for the cost. So I'm going to start out with the Tower 28 Serum Concealer. This is definitely one of those products that has been so hyped up, and I did not want to touch it because I was like, there's no way this is worth, you know, $20, $22. It's a concealer. How can it be that good? It's that good. So first of all, Tower 28 is all about sensitive skin friendly makeup. And this particular concealer, it has pretty high buildable coverage, but it feels so thin and so lightweight. Now this contains hyaluronic acid. Again, a lot of the products that I am using have hyaluronic acid in them, just because, you know, moisturizing makeup, that tends to be the it ingredient. But this also has Centella asiatica leaf extract, which soothes and calms sensitive skin. So wearing this, it's going to kind of take those angrier spots and just help them look a little less aggressive. I'm wearing the shade IE, which is sort of a light medium neutral type of shade. And then this also has lysine, which does help protect and prevent dry skin in the formula. So this is such a thin and like flexible concealer that I've actually worn it all over my face instead of foundation. And I find that it looks incredibly natural. What I'm doing today is I'm kind of just patting over where I feel like I need the most coverage, over these super angry blemishes, some redness around my nose. And I'm gonna let it sit for a second before I start blending. I do find that that helps maintain coverage versus going in and blending out right away. So I think we've got most of that redness covered. I am curious, some people said that they think that this is similar to like the NYX Serum Concealer. I have not tried the NYX Serum Concealer. Now I want to see what the differences are. I'd be interested to really look at the formula though, because this has such dry skin, sensitive skin friendly ingredients. But let me know if you've tried that one, what you think, or if you've tried both, how do they compare? So I am going to let that sit for a second while we check in. Hi, Catherine, thank you so much. Hi, Mean Face. I'm so glad you're loving the makeup tutorials. I really want to do more kind of routine-based videos this year versus just, you know, here's the new product, here's the new product, here's the new product. And that's why some of these that I'm using today are going to be ones that you've seen already that are kind of tried and true, because I really do miss the days of YouTube where we got a lot of videos showing how to use products like in different ways versus, you know, your first review and then you never see it again, right? So that's really what I want to kind of ramp up this year. Okay, Miss Canadian Bacon loves the NYX, has not tried Tower 28. How do you feel like the NYX does with dry skin if you have dry skin? Because that's like my biggest thing, especially with concealer formulas that are more medium to high coverage. I do find that sometimes they end up looking a little crazy on dry skin. So I'm gonna just start tapping at this concealer, and I'm not gonna spread it out too much. I just wanna soften these edges so that the borders are a bit more blurred. Jennifer says, Neutrogena is so expensive now. I used to be able to get it for under $10. Not anymore. Yeah, Neutrogena, they actually have such great complexion products, but they really are up there. I mean, I think Neutrogena and L'Oreal are probably the ones that you've really seen their foundations and some of their skincare too rise in price to be closer to that $20 mark for sure. There was that Neutrogena skin tint, the hyaluronic one. That's a great one for dry skin. It provides probably like medium coverage, but I think the last time I tried to buy it, it was like $16 or $18, and I'm like, whew. And that's why with these products, especially the foundation that I'm going to use, you know, it's just another $5, and I feel like it does offer a little bit more than the current drugstore options. So I'm just tapping this right over where I have that concealer and where I need to cover the most. I have dry, mature under eyes. It's great. Okay, I trust you. I'm definitely going to try the NYX one next, and I'd be curious to kind of compare them side by side with this concealer, because I just think it blends and sinks into the skin so well, especially when you do have texture and dryness and just in general irritated skin, because some of this dryness is actually flaky. Like, I won't beat around the bush. My skin is in such terrible shape right now. But the show must go on because it's my birthday. All right. So tapping over that. I mean, you can see already so much more coverage than a lot more like lightweight concealers usually provide. I would say just those small dots gave me about medium coverage. So very impressed with this so far. I've been reaching for it a lot just as my all over face product. And that way I don't have to wear a full layer of foundation. Sometimes I can just cover my usually 1 or 2 blemishes and then, you know, wear the rest of my face a little bit more natural. Thanks, Jeannie. Thanks so much for tuning in. All y'all are so sweet for coming in and wishing me a happy birthday. I just turned 32. So, I don't know. I think all of the milestones kind of end at 30. Or after 30, I feel like the milestones of birthdays just kind of are at every 10 years, right? Because after, 21 is obviously drinking. 24 is renting a car. 26, you have to go on your own insurance. And then after that, that's it. All right, let's move on to foundation. So this is the foundation that I said, I believe it's either $20 or $22. This is from About Face. This is their skin focused foundation. And there's a lot of things that I feel make this worth it over some drugstore foundations depending on your skin needs, but especially if you have dry skin, sensitive skin, if you don't like the feeling of foundation on your face and you need or want more coverage without the feeling of coverage. So this is, okay, $24. That's why I have my notes. The ingredients in here that make it so great for sensitive, dry, textured skin. It has blue agave, which helps smooth. It also helps hydrate and plump the skin. It balances with wintergreen, which helps calm blemishes. And something to note is that, you know, wintergreen is kind of becoming a more popular skincare and makeup ingredient, but About Face uses purified wintergreen extracts, not in oil form. So it actually ends up becoming a natural version of salicylic acid that helps calm blemishes while you wear it. And then it also has chlorella, which is filled with vitamins known to energize the skin barrier. Again, the skin barrier, because mine is wrecked. That is what I'm looking for, and what I need to be cautious about when choosing makeup. Now, I did just switch my shade in this. I'm using LM1 Neutral now. I used to use LM1 Warm, which worked fine, but LM1 Neutral is definitely a better match for me. And that's something that is really impressive with this foundation as well, because $24, you know, that is pretty middle of the road when it comes to foundation prices between drugstore and high-end. But this has warm, cool, neutral, olive, and peach shade options. So really, I would be hard pressed to not find a shade that matched me. And it goes from very, very fair to pretty deep. So the shade range just alone makes it worth being able to go in, trying it, because you do have samples of this at Ulta, and being able to really fine tune your shade in a way that, you know, you can't really do at the drugstore, because even with the more expansive drugstore foundation ranges, at the drugstore, often you don't get that full range on the shelf. So I know, you know, L'Oreal has great foundation ranges. I think Maybelline also has really great foundation ranges. Often their new releases have like over 30 shades, but there's not going to be 30 shades on the shelf, because that's just not how retail works. And so being able to go in and kind of have the experience of shopping a high-end foundation with the testers, but not having a full-on high-end foundation price, I think really sets this foundation apart. So you can see it's blending over that concealer really well, adding that extra layer of coverage, but this feels so light. I feel like I am achieving almost full coverage, but not at all feeling like I have a full coverage foundation or concealer on. And that was absolutely my goal with this routine today. And that's the reason why I ended up choosing to use these products specifically, because dang, the before and after, I mean, I'm so much more comfortable in my skin right now like this. So that was just a pretty thin layer. Let me just check it out and see if I feel like I need any more coverage. I mean, that pretty much got everything. And that was not a lot of product at all. So again, that is why I feel like this is worth checking out if you haven't already. I think I'll add just a little bit. This is a tricky spot because it's in my laugh line, so I know that product tends to bunch there, but I have a blemish right in it. I'm not sure if I layer up product there, if it's gonna end up staying, but I'll just add a tiny, tiny little dot. All right, there we go. So yes, 32. Oh my gosh, Jeannie, 28, you flatter me. Yeah, you know what, Jeannie? I do remember, Jeannie said that she remembers that this foundation used to be 22. I'm pretty sure it was, like when I first reviewed it back in October, I think is the first time that I started using it, or September. So price rises. I mean, we're seeing them everywhere. We're not only seeing them from high end, we're definitely seeing them at drugstore. So it's still cheaper than a lot of high end foundations that sit at about 30. Jeannie says that she is 61 and it does not emphasize fine lines. I totally agree. I mean, obviously, as at 32, I don't have a lot of wrinkles, but I do have expression lines because I am a very expressive person. So I've started to see creases in my face, mostly on my forehead here, that foundation loves to settle into, and then my laugh lines for sure, which, hey, it's just a sign of how much smiling I've had in my life. But it can be annoying because makeup likes to settle there. And, you know, despite primers that say your makeup won't crease, etc., etc., if you have lines and your face has movement, you're gonna experience a little bit of that. Don't be fooled by filters because it's gonna happen. Don't make yourself feel bad about it. But there are definitely products that do better staying flexible on skin and staying out of fine lines, and this is definitely one of them. Okay, I'm gonna leave this one alone for now because I do feel like I'm having a little bit of trouble talking and expressing and keeping foundation on it. So I am going to move on to my brows. So we have a new drugstore brow product. Is this a risk? Testing it right before I leave to go to my birthday party. Maybe, but I've been dying to try this ever since it landed in my mailbox. Maybelline sent me their new Super Fluff Tinted Brow Gel. So let me check my notes here. This is about $11 and it claims all day wear, and it's supposed to be stiff resistant and flake resistant. Besides that, I don't know much about it. They sent me 2 shades. I'm gonna swatch them on the back of my hand just to see what we're working with. I believe this is black brown and then we have black. So I just wanna see what black brown looks like. Okay, not bad. So usually with brow products, I have to go black because my hair is so dark. It's technically brown, but it's a very cool dark brown that just looks black in most lighting. So a lot of the times, if I choose anything with brown in the name for brows, it's just very obvious. It's like a little bit too warm and you can tell where the brow product is versus my actual eyebrow. Let's check out black. Oh, that's like black. Okay. You know, I think black brown could work for me this time. Wow, I'm actually really impressed because typically brown shades, yeah, they just look a little crazy. I've mentioned this before, but I'm very picky about my brow products because my brows, let me zoom you in, they grow a little funny. My arches kind of drop off a bit. They're very, very sparse. And then I do have sparse hairs in front. But because of that, I pretty much have to create my arch from scratch. So with brow gel, there needs to be a level of pigmentation that I can kind of get it onto my skin and fill in that spot without it looking like it's obviously hair missing and just like makeup on my skin. You know what I mean? All right, so let's go in and then let me check in with the chat. Tara says, I've been waiting to try that foundation so bad. I just need to bite the bullet and get it. I totally agree. And also go to Ulta, try on the testers. If you don't live near an Ulta, they do accept returns. So it's, you know, I feel like people are weird about returning makeup, but if it doesn't match you and you're not gonna use it, return it. Like they have a policy for a reason, right? All right, let's try this Maybelline Super Fluff. I'm gonna start at my arch because that's where I need the most color, and then we can go from there. I don't know, I'm not used to this product yet, so I don't wanna go in too heavy. I did just trim my brows though, so hopefully that kind of helps with application. Ooh, okay, so definitely a moussey product. And I really like this spoolie. Let me show it to you up close. It's on the smaller side, which I like, and it's very tapered, like pointed. So I feel like I can get a little more precise where I lay down product, especially in this spot. Let's see. Okay, I'm liking this so far. And it does seem to be like sitting on my skin without looking markery. I'm gonna wipe off some back into the tube. I do feel like a little bit too much came out on the spoolie, and I don't want to have just like a block brow situation. Ooh, I like this. It does seem a little bit more of a thicker formula than, say, like the Benefit, what is it called? Gimme Brow. That's pretty much my favorite brow gel. Like, out of all of the brow products, even at the drugstore, I feel like Benefit is always worth the splurge, although they always have so many sales that I've never had to buy them full price. But Gimme Brow is one of my favorite waterproof. Oh, I don't know if this is waterproof. It did not, I don't think it said that on the website. So that would be a point against it unless they what is the word I'm looking for? Release a waterproof version. But yeah, that's why I've usually reached for Gimme Brow, but also because it does have enough pigmentation to stay natural looking, but to fill in these areas of my brow that just don't have hair. But this is looking pretty good. Can someone look it up? Can someone Google it really quickly? Is the Maybelline Super Fluff waterproof? Because if it is, then this might take the place of Benefit as long as it lasts all day, because I actually really like the look. The color is on point. Yeah, that's a nice filled in defined brow. What do we think? What do we think? I think that looks good. It's not too heavy either. Okay, let's do the other side. Well, that was a risk that paid off because I don't really have time to start my makeup over if any of these steps kind of go haywire. And the brows are such an important part of the face. So here's where I kind of have to get that product onto my skin a bit. Yeah, that looks really good. You know, I recently tried the L'Oreal Brow Pen. What was it called? Faux Brow, I think. And yeah, I've accepted that the liquid brow pens, the ones that like look like liquid liners, they're just not for me. They always end up looking too markery in these areas where I need to fill in nothingness. And I also feel like they take so much focus. I'm holding my breath focus when I use those, that I'm like, I could have been done with a brow pencil in a third of the time. But yeah, and mostly I just can't get that gradient look with a liquid pen versus gel or powder or a pencil. So I think that's going to be one of those products that I just kind of stopped trying. I was thinking about doing one of those videos. I've seen a few of my friends do them, beauty products that I'm not buying anymore in 2025, because I think a lot of us are being a little more mindful about what we purchase and, you know, take a chance on this year. You know, the economy's crazy, and I'm not even when I receive something for free, knowing that if I keep it closed and then I can donate it, if I know it's a product that I'm just not gonna like, then I'd rather keep it closed and be able to donate it to a women's center versus, you know, opening it and probably having it play out exactly how I thought it would. Although there have been products that have surprised me because just over the years the concept has gotten better. Because in the same video that I tried that faux brow, I tried the new Jelly Blush from Makeup Revolution, and that actually I liked, even though I have hated that type of product in the past. Okay, this eyebrow is taking a little bit of extra time because it's a little more bare in that area, but I think we're looking good. So what did I say this was? $11? It's not waterproof, but they say it will hold all day. But will it if it's not waterproof? I'm curious, especially come summer, because even usually waterproof does better, like even just against sweat than non-waterproof formulas. So I'll be interested to test it out again, not just for the night, but for, more extended wear. I can keep y'all updated and do a more in-depth or just updated review after I've tested it out a few more times. How do we feel about this? I think that looks good. Stiff resistance and flake resistant. Yeah, that's what I saw on the website. And I don't think that it feels stiff at all. It feels pretty good. It feels soft, and it doesn't look shiny either, which is always a pet peeve of mine with different brow gels, when they end up looking shiny and reflective because of the stronger hold. All right, I'm happy with that. So first new drugstore product that we tried today, I think is a win as a first impression, but I will definitely keep you updated. I'm gonna move on to my e.l.f. Lock It Down eyeshadow primer so we can get into the eyeshadow. Now, I just had somebody ask me the other day why this is now kind of like my new favorite drugstore primer, because I had been using the Milani eyeshadow primer for so long, and that one had been my holy grail, I wanna say for over a decade probably. The reason why I like this a little bit better, and you can probably see on my lids, I do find that it's a more liquidy consistency, which is interesting because the brand says that it's creamy and it's like a thin cream, I guess. But in general, this just feels a little bit more hydrating on my lids. And because I have textured skin, because I have sensitive skin, I also deal with eczema, and I have had eczema breakouts that leave kind of dryness around my eye. And with the Milani one, while I do found that it smoothed over texture pretty well, sometimes if the texture was with dryness, it would accentuate or it would catch a little bit. This, I feel, gives an overall much smoother appearance when my skin is in bad shape. And so that's why it's just become a favorite. It is only $7, and I think that it is absolutely a drugstore gem. So I'm just tapping that all over. Now, like I said, I wanted to use some products today that I've shown a ton and just want to kind of drive home some tried and trues because we are all being a little bit more conscious with our spending. You may already own this. So let me zoom out a little bit so you can see. I'm using the ColourPop Smoke and Roses palette. ColourPop is currently having a 25% off sale. I have tagged this in the tagged products on this video, so you can click that and it'll go straight to the ColourPop sale. This is probably my most used large palette, both from ColourPop and period, because in recent years, I probably since 2020, I've definitely leaned more toward using smaller palettes. And let me know if this is a trend with y'all too, because I do feel like in general, like full eyeshadow looks have kind of become a little less trendy. And with that, brands have been putting out more singles or quads or trios or whatever the case may be. ColourPop is still putting out, these big, beautiful palettes, but I just feel like they're not as popular as they used to be in terms of daily use or even casual use, you know what I mean? So let me know, have you felt like your eyeshadow routine in general has really changed since 2020? And are there any like large palettes that you still find yourself using? But like I said, this is my most used large palette in general and from ColourPop. And it is kind of a rosy, pinkish, color scheme, and I would say that there's a really good balance here between cool shades and warmer shades, but overall it does lean on the cooler side. So we're gonna do a cool toned look today. Let me check in with the chat. Jamie Lynn says, first of all, hi Jamie Lynn, long time subscriber. I love seeing your name still pop up all these years later. Recently realized the Milani one, also my holy grail for years, was too heavy looking. I think I agree. Maybe that's part of it too, is now that I'm 32 and I had been using that primer since I was probably 18 or 19, products look different on my skin now, and my eyelids are definitely different than when I was 19 or 20. So that's actually a really good observation. If I do eyeshadow at all anymore, it's super light and that stuff just doesn't work for that. That's a really good food for thought type thing. I think you're onto something there. All right, let me dip in to this palette while we get some more responses on that eyeshadow question, because I am curious, and that'll also help me kind of tailor my content a little bit, because I do find that, you know, there aren't very many eyeshadow tutorials on YouTube anymore because of that reason. Okay, I'm gonna first go into Attraction, which is this sort of bone creamy white. And I'm going to put that all over the lid. This is a primer, I will say, that I find works better if you set it lightly with either a skin tone color, whatever your skin tone may be, or just a lighter shade, because it does have that more wet consistency. This will just help really drive home that crease-free claim. Tara says, I have an eyeshadow palette addiction, makeup in general, but more emphasis on the palettes. Eyeshadow isn't going anywhere for me. See, that's the thing, is I feel like if you are like a makeup lover and you're not just like a casual makeup wearer, like it's just part of your routine going to work or school, then you're gonna have different habits than you know, what's might be trendy. Like the clean girl look became really popular, which really took away the emphasis from eyeshadow and put more emphasis on like skin and natural complexion type makeup. But yeah, I feel like a lot of us who have been really, really into makeup for so long, like we still love a good 5-shade eyeshadow look. Although I will say, my everyday shadow looks have become much more simple than they used to be. Okay, what do I want to do here today? Because the dress that I'm wearing, so I'm wearing kind of like a tight bodycon dress, like a midi dress, but it's like emerald green, and then just a jean jacket. So I want to go not too dark because my dress is a little bit darker. I want to keep the face a little lighter, especially because I'm trying to, you know, offset some of the stuff that's going on with my skin. Okay, I think I'm gonna go into Kickstart. Let me find, I should have set aside my brushes ahead of time. Kickstart is sort of a cool taupey mauve right here. And I'll zoom back in so you can see what I'm doing. Hi, Brittany, thank you so much for joining. I'm so glad you're here. We've also got Espensible Dolls. The palette is giving me life. Absolutely. And like I said, I think right now with the 25% off sale, it's probably about $25. And how many shades are in here? That's 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 30 shades for $25. That's not bad. And I think this is a great palette going into spring as well because of these rosy tones, and cool tone shades are finally coming back in style, because, you know, I feel like rose gold has been, you know, very trendy for the past few years, but it's always been like within warmer eyeshadow palettes, and just warm neutrals in general have always taken the spotlight. And now finally, I think also with the color of the year being Mocha Mousse, which is a more cool tone brown, cool tone neutrals are becoming back in style. So it's super exciting, especially as when I got my color analysis, she told me that I had cool tone skin. I think I lean more neutral, but it is exciting to see the cooler shades get more popular because I do think that they look really nice on my skin tone. Thank you everyone saying happy birthday. Y'all are so sweet. I've heard that it's very classic Pisces to have like a birthday week versus just a birthday. This has definitely been my birthday week, or maybe almost week and a half, because my mom came to town last Friday to start celebrating early. So yeah, this is the last hurrah until next year. Okay, I like how that's looking. The other thing is ColourPop just has such easy to work with pigmented shadows. So the price in general, this is usually maybe like $35 or something like that. And that would already be worth it for this many shadows, but especially at $25. Okay, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? I think, I don't want to go too dark. Maybe I'll put Look at Me in my crease. I'm not sure how that'll go over, but it is on sort of the muted mauve side. I really want the statement to be like this, whatever sparkle I choose to put on my lid. Let me get a clean, do I have a clean blending brush? Yes, I do. I just clean my brushes. I'm not good about it, but I do it. That probably doesn't help my skin. But to be fair, I do have a lot of brushes, so I can get through probably like, I have a lot of brushes and sponges, so I can get through a month's worth. That wasn't a great shade to choose. I don't think that was the right shade to choose. Hold on. But I have probably a month's worth of brushes before I really need to clean my collection. Okay. I think I'm instead gonna go into this brown called Spun Around. I'm just gonna go into that a little bit lightly. I'm gonna keep a light hand because that shade that I had just chosen was a little bit too light for my outer corner. It would look a little wonky. Although I do have a habit of saying, I'm not gonna go too dark. I'm not gonna go too dramatic, and then it happens. My hands have a life of their own when I'm doing my makeup. I cannot be blamed. They cannot be tamed. I don't know if my heat is on, but I am like sweating. Hi, Dawn. Thank you so much. Oh, we got another Pisces in the house. Yours was the 9th. Happy birthday. Happy belated. We're all celebrating here. Does anyone else have any that just passed or is coming up? And how did you celebrate your birthday, Dawn? I want to know. If you're just joining, I'm heading out to dinner with my girlfriends and husbands. Everybody's invited. Husbands / boyfriends. And we're going to a drag show. I'm super, super excited. I think it's going to be fun. I've seen a few of the local drag performers here in Vegas before, and there are some incredible performers. It was actually, I went to a drag brunch, I want to say it was like the end of last year, and unfortunately the establishment closed down, but the performers were so great, and a few of them had, like, they had 2 jobs, I guess, like on their off time they were drag performers, but then like their real job was Cirque du Soleil performers. So you can just imagine some of their like dance moves and tricks that they would do. I mean, I was thoroughly entertained. So I'm kind of hoping that we get to see some more of that tonight. I'm just gonna blend that out and up. I think it turned out a little bit darker than I originally had planned, but it is okay. If there's any day to be glam, it is tonight. So I'm gonna blend that, and I'm trying to blend that up in like a taper, not too crazy of a wing, but I've wanted to kind of shape my eye a bit more lifted these days now that I'm 32 and helping shaping my eyeshadow up toward the tail of my brow kind of creates that illusion. Did you use a curling iron on your hair? Yes, and do not worry. If you're just tuning in, we talked about this in the beginning. I'm gonna brush through these curls. I just like letting them sit really tight for a bit before I brush them out, so that way they hold better. That's kind of been my trick since high school, is I curl them and I kind of keep them in these really tight ringlets, and then I spray them a bit with workable hairspray. And then right before I go out, I'll shake them through and kind of finger comb them, and then they can last like 3 days. But I mean, to be fair, I do have naturally wavy hair, so in general, I find that it holds a curl really well. But that's always just been my little hack of getting my style to hold a lot better. Because if you brush through them right away, especially while they're still warm, you're gonna take away some of that tightness over time. Okay, I'm liking how that's looking. You know, I just mentioned in a YouTube short, does anyone else have that one eye that always looks a little bit wonkier and then one eye that blends beautifully? So my right eye always comes out really nice and smooth, and then my left eye looks crazy. And I think I might have like a different bone structure or something going on here, because it really does not like to blend as well up in the corner here. Yours was last month, Tara. Happy belated 38. Such a big number. No, that's only 6 more than me. That's not that far ahead. You should vlog it even if it's a short. Oh, do you mean my birthday? Maybe I will, but I will be on Instagram stories tonight. So if you don't already follow me on Instagram, I'll post from the drag show there, and it's the same as here. It's @/beauty. So if you want to check out the shenanigans and see the final look, because I'll post an outfit photo as well, follow me over on Instagram. I do the same, Miss Canadian Bacon. Yep, you gotta keep the curls like sausagey. That's what I call these, sausage curls, before you shake them out. Yep, most of you have that issue. Yep, left is weird, right is normal. Maybe is it a lefty righty thing? Maybe that's what it is. Like I'm just right dominant. I don't know. Okay, which shimmer do I want to use today? I'm thinking. Okay, wait, I'm doing green, so I don't want to do purple. I don't like how purple and green look together. It's giving Barney. So maybe Speechless. It's sort of this like rosy taupe shade. That might be pretty. Because at first my eye went to this, but I'm like, yeah, it's a little too purple. What do we think? Okay, I'll give you options and then y'all can vote. We've got Speechless, and then maybe, okay, here's Speechless. Here's On Call, which is more of a light pink. That might be more of a topper though versus like a solid shadow. Let me know which we want to do here. In the meantime, let me check in with my foundation because I'm kind of sweaty. And I didn't set my under eye, although I don't have too much going on here. I didn't put too much concealer in this area just because I didn't want to have to worry about it. But maybe I'll put a tiny bit of powder under my eyes while we get those votes in. So again, I'll show you the shades that we're in between here. This one, On Call, and this one, Speechless. Let me know in the chat. I'm gonna grab, I actually have another new powder that I can try right now. This is from Essence. This is the Flawless Skin Trio Loose Setting Powder, and it actually has 3 different shades of powder. We have translucent, pink, and purple. And pink and purple are brightening shades that are great for under the eyes, and you can mix these all together for an all-over setting powder. I'm not going to set my whole face with powder. I'm going to set it with setting spray just because of, trying to keep things blurred, but blurred for my dry skin. I am going to use, I think, the pink powder here and see how it goes with my under eyes. So let me open this up. Okay, we've got a lot of votes for Speechless so far. Thanks. Yeah, Brittany, follow me over on Instagram and I'll have the shenanigans. Oh no, this, I didn't pre-open this. This was not a planned new product to test, so bear with me. I gotta get the plastic off. Okay, so this packaging is pretty interesting because you can take it like this and, are we gonna focus? Okay, you can take it like this and get some powder out of all of the colors to just do an all over. But there's also this insert where you can kind of isolate which color you want to dispense. So that's pretty cool. And I'm not sure how much this powder is. I want to say, because it's Essence, it's probably under $10. And that's some thoughtful packaging for such a, budget-friendly brand. Okay, this pink is really pink. Usually when I use pink under eyeshadow, it is not that bright. I think I might mix a little bit of the purple in just to get it to be more neutral. And with pinks and purple under eye powder, typically purple cancels out yellow tones and yellow dullness, and pink can help with dark circles. So I'm just gonna mix them together, and I'm using my sponge. I think we're all gonna vote for Speechless, it looks like in the chat here. Okay, I'm just gonna press that powder in. It is a very fluffy, finely milled powder. Oh, I'm so excited. Will someone do me a favor and look up how much this is? Because I didn't look it up. I wasn't planning on using it. Essence Flawless Skin Trio Loose Setting Powder. This is a really nice powder. I will say drugstore powder has absolutely gotten so much better, even just over the past 5 years, because that was one product category where I did have a high-end favorite that I felt like no drugstore option could compete with, and that was Laura Mercier. And then the Chanel powder is probably like the best. I had a professional makeup artist use that on me, and I was like, oh, didn't know my skin could look like this in real life. But the Laura Mercier one is one that I actually would purchase and use for special events. But now at the drugstore, there's so many good powders that you really don't need to spend the high-end price. I've seen great reviews on the Essence powder. Yeah, I mean, so far, I'm liking it. It looks so smooth under my eyes. I mean, I know that with the live stream quality, it might be a little bit blurrier, but that really smoothed out the texture, especially on top of using that blur primer that we used from Milani. Wow, I'm impressed. $5.99? Okay, thank you, Jennifer, and thank you, Jamie Lynn, for looking that up. This is $5.99? I'm shocked. Not only because of how soft and fluffy the powder is, and obviously Essence is cruelty-free and vegan as always, but the thoughtfulness with this packaging. I mean, I know it's just a plastic insert, but a lot of brands don't even think about this kind of stuff. That is really cool. Wow, okay. Another new drugstore makeup product. That's a win today. We are on a roll. We have, I think, one other like new product that I haven't tried yet. Hopefully that one also works out, but this was a nice, pleasant surprise. I picked up the pink under corrector concealer, and I love it. I do have the pink color correctors, or the their colored color correctors. They're new color correcting concealers as well. I have not tried them yet, so it's good to hear that people like them. It's the lightest shade Essence offered in the new line, and it's very pale, but that's good for me because my circles are so dark. Yeah, I definitely have to try those. I want to try their pink one for under the eyes, and then the green one, which does cancel out redness. Although, honestly, a lot of my products, like especially today, I feel like I get enough coverage without needing to go in and add that green to cancel out the red for my blemishes. Okay, I'm pretty sure everyone voted for Speechless, so that's what we're gonna put on the lid. I'm gonna use my finger. Oh wow, this is really pretty. It's like a metallic taupey shade. How would you describe this? It's not exactly bronze, but I like it. Let's put it on. Oh, it translates a lot more like bronzy than I thought it would. Maybe like a shiny penny? It's pretty. Ooh, I'm getting a lot of fallout though, so I gotta be a little bit more careful about patting this on. That's gorgeous. Yeah, it's almost like a light copper, maybe? Jamie Lynn, it might be, the Essence powder may be similar to the Catrice because they are owned by the same brand. So Catrice and Essence are sister companies. Catrice is just a little less available in the US. They used to be at Ulta and then they pulled out. So in the US, you can only get Catrice now on Amazon and from their website. But I would say that I have noticed a lot of product similarities between the two brands because Essence is so much more widely available here. I think they end up double dipping with some of their more popular releases or more popular products. Yes, thank you. I think it's looking good. I was afraid that it was going to be too dark or too pink, but I think we're on a roll here. So now I got to choose a highlight shade. Hi, Jennifer Tries That. Thanks for joining and coming in the stream. Okay, let's highlight my eyes and then we can move on to the lashes. I think for my highlight shade, I'm gonna use Every Rose, which is this kind of pale pink champagne. Since we ended up with a little bit more of a pinky shade or overall look. Oops. Yeah, I really miss Catrice being more available. They have a really nice foundation formula, their hydrating foundation. Talk about full coverage, but it's $11, I want to say, and absolutely rivals high end. Oops. Pretty. Every time I dip into this palette, I wonder why I don't wear it every day, because I just love every freaking look that I create with it. They're just such flattering rose shades, and again, they do lean more cool. Pretty. Okay, so do we do eyeliner? I really haven't been on an eyeliner kick lately, where a lot of the times I will just let the eyeshadow do the talking. I used to never feel complete without winged liner, and now I feel like it almost sometimes weighs down my eyes. Maybe that's a 32-year-old thing versus when I wore it every day from ages 16 to 28. But I just love how like light and ethereal this looks. Maybe I'll do a little bit of powder liner, just kind of a small little flick. What do we think? I remember that stuff. I think Taylor Wynn used to hoard bottles. Yes, the Catrice foundation. It's so good. Like I said, I think you can still buy it on Amazon. It's just a little less available. You know what I mean? Okay, let me see. What do I want to do? I think I'm going to do a little powder kitten flick of a wing. And luckily, we've got some darker shades here. I think, actually, I used the darkest brown in my outer corner. So maybe I'll use a liquid liner and do a kitten flick. Let's see. I've got the Milani tank liner here in brown. Hey, Spark. Yes, I am streaming live. I don't do it often, but I want to. So you caught me right on time. So there's a dark brown liner I can use. Maybe do a little kitten flick. Yeah, I want to do more lives. I know I did a poll, which thank you everyone who voted on the poll of like what times work best for you. Friday afternoons are probably going to be the more popular time. Maybe sometimes Saturdays when people are, you know, just at home and maybe it's a little more easy to hop onto YouTube. I did not blend my outer corner shade as much as I wanted to in with that lid shade. There we go. Okay. I love eyeliner. You know, I do too. I've liked more of just the eyeshadow taking over, but I'm going to do a really, really tiny, should I zoom you in more? Nope, you're already all the way zoomed in. Let me bring the camera closer. I'm going to do a tiny little flick and we'll see how that goes. This is a nice dark brown liquid eyeliner. Sometimes I find that brown liquid liners are a little too light to create the definition that I like because, again, I have those dark lashes. But this is the Milani one. The only thing I don't like about it is that it's a felt tip. I hate felt tips. I much prefer a brush tip because what happens is the tippy top of the felt tip, even when it's super fine and precise, it will always end up wearing down quickly and you end up getting that bend and you lose the control. And I have found that with this one already. But it is a really nice formula. I just wish they'd put it in a brush. I also find that felt tip liners tend to skip a little bit more than brush tip as well. Today is not my birthday. My birthday was on Tuesday, but today's my birthday party. And I am a Pisces. Yes, I am. I think Aquarius season or Aries season is coming up next, right? Is that next week? But I just made it in time to be a Pisces. Okay, I gotta concentrate here because this is already a little bit longer of a wing than I was originally planning because I got distracted. Okay. I think that's about what I want. What do y'all think? I think we're good. Now we just need to replicate it on the other side. And this is the beauty of live, because you can see how long all of these steps actually take me. Because when you're watching one of my videos and I'm cutting it out and I'm cutting out all the parts where I'm not talking and I'm just really focusing on my makeup, it may seem like I'm somewhat of an expert, but no, I'm just like anybody else who needs to really concentrate to do my liquid liner. And I often get stuck trying to even out the wings if they're the wrong angle as well. So, influencers, they're just like you. I don't know if y'all have seen Ariana Grande do her liquid eyeliner, but it's actually insane. She starts out at the tip of her wing and then just like does a swoop in one stroke. And I'm like, okay, maybe some people are real experts here, but yeah, I have no idea. I've watched it and I can't get over it. It's witchcraft, which actually makes sense because she's Glinda the Good Witch. So that's probably what it is. That is exactly what it is. We figured it out. Let me know if you all have seen Wicked. I finally saw it. I waited to see it until it was at home because I did not want to risk going into the theater and having people sing out loud. I just cannot deal with that. I wanted to really take it in and watch and hear Cynthia sing and not strangers, and hear Ariana sing and not strangers. And I'm so glad that I did, because also it's like 3 hours long and I needed to take at least 5 pee breaks. Like, why are movies so long nowadays? I can't deal with it. Thank you so much. Thanks for all the birthday wishes. But I really enjoyed it. I just, in general, I don't like long movies. I think after 2 hours, it becomes a diminishing return. And I mean, I really think that for most genres, even if I'm really enjoying it, after 2 hours, I'm like, okay, wrap it up. Like, we can tell this story a little faster. I understand though for Wicked, because it's based on source material and like it's based on the live action, they obviously wanted part 1 and part 2 to correspond to like the acts in the play. And there was no way that they would live down not having Defying Gravity in the first movie, obviously. So I get it. And I was never bored. I will say that. There was not a boring moment, but I would say after the 2 hour mark, I was like, I'm done. I'm okay now. I got it. Whew. All right, I think I just need to even this one out a little bit. Famous last words. And we're good. Anything that's a little wonky, I'll probably touch up before I actually leave. At that point, it should be a TV show. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was great. It was definitely the sets and the costumes. It was just insane. Hi, Cynthia. Oh, yay. Thanks so much for tuning in on your break. That's awesome. All right, let's move on to my lashes. I was contemplating whether or not I wanted to wear falsies, but I'm going to be so honest with y'all. I do plan on having a few cocktails tonight, and I don't want to have to deal with removing my lashes when I get home. So we're just going to put on a generous coat of mascara and call it a day. Hi, Chi-Chi. Thank you so much. Now, I was contemplating whether I wanted to use the L'Oreal Big Deal Mascara. And I want to know, has anyone else tried this yet? Because I did do a whole review on it, like right when it first came out. And I'm hoping that more people have tried it at this point. But, you know, it's this new Paradise mascara, or it's part of their Lash Paradise line. And they claim that it's endlessly buildable with no clumps. And to a degree, I agree. I've been able to layer that mascara up like crazy without it getting clumpy at all. However, if I layer it up too much, then it touches my eyebrow, and then the oil from this area ends up making it transfer. It doesn't happen as much if I'm wearing eyeshadow. Or if I build it up a lot, it flakes. So it's like, well, is it buildable if you're going to take advantage of that claim, but then it ends up all over your face? So the only reason why I was contemplating wearing it is because since I've been testing it, I feel like I've gotten the hang of like the amount I can build it up before the flaking becomes a problem. And I do feel like it holds my curl a lot better than the L'Oreal Panorama Mascara, which has been my favorite at the drugstore. But that one really does straighten out my lashes, which is why I'm like really crimping. I have very straight lashes, so they get weighed down pretty easily, and then I lose that effect. Or I can use the Panorama one and not worry about flaking. Okay, Sierra loves the Big Deal mascara. It's on Miss Canadian Bacon's list. Thinner formula and stay separated. I do agree with that. It is a thinner formula, and I do find that the wand really combs through my lashes super, super well. Hi, Cynthia. Thanks for tuning in. I haven't loved it under makeup. Oh, you guys are talking about something else. I love that y'all are just like having conversations. I love the community that we've built. I saw one of you was checking in on the other. I'm just so happy that we're all just hanging out together. It feels like I'm hanging out with my girlfriends. Okay, so what should I do? Should I risk the flakes? You know, I've never tried layering them before. I wonder how that would work. But that I don't think is an experiment I'm willing to try today. Maybe that'll be in the future, because maybe the Panorama will lock this one in and keep it from getting flaky. I think, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? I can't decide. Oh, I think I'm just going to do Panorama, because then I don't have to worry about the smudging. Because that's the worst. That's the worst when you go to the bathroom and you look in the mirror and you realize that you've got mascara everywhere. That's just the worst. So going in with the Panorama mascara now, I know this has become my whole personality since it happened, but this is the mascara that I damaged my cornea with. So the wand is very pokey and very stiff. So try not to do that. I just got really excited, and I like to really coat my lashes from the base. But I got a little too angled inward when I was getting close to my lash line, and I really did a number scratching my cornea with the comb bristles. So could not wear eye makeup for about I think he told me 5 days, but I just kept it off for a week because I didn't want to risk it. And then I had to use antibiotic drops like 3 times a day. So that wasn't fun. And that has always been like a worst nightmare kind of thing. Anything around the eyes like freaks me out. If there's like a horror movie or a thriller movie and something's happening with the eyes, I need to look away. So that was pretty awful. Please be careful. Okay, I think that's where I'm gonna leave it. I've got a good amount of lift, but right now I have enough curl maintained here. Back in time for Mascara Gate. Yep, you know. And I keep getting comments too. Every time I do my mascara in a video, I get at least 1 or 2 comments like, I get nervous now when you do your mascara. And you know what? You should be. You really should be, because in a recent video too, I like almost did the same thing again, because I get too excited about mascara. Ooh, I put a little powder on my eyelashes, and then I used the e.l.f. mascara with the blue handle. Cynthia, is that the lash extender mascara, the tubing one? I know that one kind of has like a teal or like a greenish handle. I really like that one. Yeah, I mean, that's why Jamie Lynn, she says this mascara looks fantastic. It really is one of the best at the drugstore. And the reason why I like this, aside just from what it looks like, is that even when I wear the non-waterproof version, It stays totally smudge free and flake free. I have even taken a nap in this mascara by accident, of course. I do not condone sleeping in your makeup. And it looked fine when I woke up. Like, it just didn't look like anything happened. No smudgies or nothing. So that really sealed the deal. And last April, I went to New Orleans with a bunch of other YouTubers, beauty YouTubers specifically. And I think half of us brought this mascara because of how well it does against humidity and sweating as well, because it was so humid. We went to New Orleans, and even in April, to be fair, I live in the desert where we're used to under 10% humidity most of the time, and I was dying at how wet it was there. It was just crazy. Okay, again, my right lashes look great. My left lashes look crazy. Why? I need to use a lash separator on this side. This one is from Japonesque, which is a brand you can find at Target, and they have this lash separator that I use all the time. If my mascara starts looking a little wonky, and it's always my left eye, you can just comb through a bit and it'll detangle any lashes that kind of start to stick together and any excess mascara that might be creating a clump. The other thing this helps do is kind of lift your lashes a bit if a formula is weighing them down. But I did get mascara on my lid, so I'm gonna wait for that to dry before I try to smudge it off. Let's check in with the chat. Oh wow, your eyelashes, I'm telling you, Panorama, it's the best. They did not outdo in my opinion, they did not outdo the Panorama with the Big Deal mascara. My favorite way to keep my curl is waiting until it's dry, translucent powder your eye crimper and crimp them again. That's really interesting. Again, that's not something I want to test today because if it doesn't work out, I don't have time to redo my makeup, but I promise you. Hold on. I'm taking a screenshot of your comment on my phone and I'm going to do a YouTube short testing that out. Brittany. Yes, the tubing one. The e.l.f. tubing mascara is great. That's another favorite for summer because it does not smudge. That one also does weigh down my lashes just a bit, but now I got to try this powder hack that y'all are telling me. e.l.f. Lash and Roll, another great one. That's a really good one. That one I feel like I haven't used in a while. I should definitely add that to my next e.l.f. haul. I live an hour south of New Orleans and it is always so humid. I was dying. Thank you so much, Denise, for the birthday wishes. Yours was on the 12th. Happy birthday. Happy belated. That's crazy. I had to train myself to do mascara with my left hand for my left eye. Does that work? Wait a second. Is that a thing? That should be another YouTube short, is doing my left eye makeup with my left hand, or just doing my makeup with my left hand. That would be pretty entertaining because I'm pretty sure it would be terrible. Switch your hand or one direction. Wow. Okay. All right. Hey, y'all are teaching me something new. I'm willing to try it for sure. Okay, we're done with the eyes. I really like how they came out. It's light, but still a little glam. We've got that shimmer going on. Oh, let me fix the stuff that ended up on my lid. I just need a spoolie. And once your mascara is dry, if you've never tried this, let your mascara dry first, otherwise it'll just smear. Then take an eyebrow spoolie, one of these guys, and then you can just flake off the mascara. And this won't wipe away your eyeshadow like using like a makeup wipe would. It really just kind of takes off that top layer. We're good. Okay, I'm just gonna add a little bit more of that highlight to blend. Perfect. All right. Yeah, I can't even do my left eye with my right hand anymore. That's crazy. That's very impressive. I'm gonna have to try it for sure. Okay, moving on, let's add some contour. So I did set aside, at least I thought I did, and now I don't see it anymore. I set aside my Physicians contour. I might need to grab it. So, okay. Where'd it go? Okay, give me a second. I thought that I had set it aside and I didn't, and that is the beauty of a live stream. Whee! Oh, here it is. Okay. Okay, so back to my face. I'm using the Physicians Formula Butter Glow Contour Wand. Now, you know, I do find that this is a little warm in terms of what I would really, really like out of a contour, but it is on the more neutral side. I can get away with using it as a bronzer, like a bronzing contour, but in general, I really like this formula. Now, they do say that it's hypoallergenic, and I don't find that I have had any reactions to it, although it does have that signature Physicians Formula butter scent because it has the butter blend. They use murumuru butter, kupuasu butter, and tukuma butter, I want to say. But with that said, it does look very smooth on the skin and there is a little bit of radiance to it. So that's why I feel like this is great for where my skin is at now. And if you're just joining us, my skin right now is super broken out, super irritated. My skin barrier is wrecked. Mostly my fault. And so I'm really being cautious about the complexion products that I'm using today. This is in the shade Fair Light, which is on the cooler side compared to their medium deep shade of this product. So I'm gonna go ahead and, get that under my cheekbones. Should really, I didn't want to put a headband on today because I curled my hair. And then on my nose. Where did my sponge go? Here it is. And what I like about this formula as well is that it's a very thin formula. It truly is a liquid contour because I've said this before. I feel like when liquid contours first started becoming popular, a lot of brands put like cream contours in a tube and called them liquid. And no, they were like really thick. But this is truly a liquid contour that blends and melts into the skin really easily. Like you know, I used the same sponge for everything and I just powdered because I had some of that essence powder left. One liquid contour that didn't quite work for me because of the texture was the Milani one. The Milani Conceal and Perfect one, it was too creamy almost, and it had the same kind of applicator. It had the sponge applicator, and I found that it was a little thick for a liquid contour, and I don't know, I could never really get it to blend very nicely. Let me open the chat back up. I had my notes for the Physicians. Essence has such great mascaras for so cheap. I love Essence mascaras. They're like consistently $5 or under. So high quality. Their most recent one, I think, was the Lash Out Loud mascara. Or not Lash Out Loud. Lash Without Limits. That's what it was called. That one I actually like better than their Lash Princess mascara, which is probably their most popular one. Essence and e.l.f. so good. Yep, they sure are. So see how that just like blends so smoothly onto the skin? It really just melts into the rest of my makeup. The Milani one is my favorite. The cream one, Spill the Tea, is my favorite bronzer. Is the Milani one that you use, Cynthia, the one that's in the tube? Because that's the one that I was like, I just didn't feel like it was super blendable for being in a tube. Like it had a thicker consistency. And then they did have their other cream ones in the compacts, and I could not find a color that worked for me. They all pulled way too warm. So this one is just a nice little subtle bronzer contour. For my blush today, I'm going to be using the Pretty Smart Liquid Blush. This is a cruelty-free and vegan brand that just launched at Walmart specifically, and they are from the same founder as The Balm Cosmetics, which is more of a mid-range brand, but they were super popular back in the day, and they still exist, but I feel like people don't really talk about them anymore. But it is like a cleaner formula. The whole brand is talc-free, petroleum-free, SLS-free. So again, you know, just kind of a more simple and high-quality formula, skin-friendly, that is very affordable. This is only like $9, I want to say, at Walmart. And again, this has a very liquidy consistency. This is not like the Even like the camo blush from e.l.f., that's a little bit thicker than this. This is really thin. So I find that it does well with my textured skin and not kind of adding too heavy or cakey of a layer. Not that the e.l.f. one looks cakey, but sometimes it's a lot. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna, oh, this is the shade Inspire, which is a cool toned mauve that I think works really well with the eyeshadow that we picked today. Really pretty. And look at that glow. Yes, that is exactly what my skin needed. Wow, if you've been here from the start of this live and you saw where my skin started, the transformation though. And if you just joined, then maybe afterwards you can kind of like skip back to the beginning and you can see how we got here, because this is not what my skin looks like. I'm absolutely catfishing you. Yeah, Cynthia, the compact style, that actually is a great formula. The Milani cream blush that's in the compact, I just did not find a shade that worked for me. And it's because I do have that more neutral undertone that so many contours end up pulling very, very warm on me. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit more. I mean, I don't know. I don't wanna go in, you guys have heard of blush blindness, where you don't realize that you're over applying blush because you just get so lost in the sauce and how beautiful it looks. There are definitely some videos that I watch and I look back on where I was like, whoa, I had major blush blindness. Why did I apply so much? So now I'm overly cautious about how much blush I apply. But because this one is such a thin formula, it does start out a bit sheerer and you can kind of build it up. It kind of makes it more foolproof because in contrast, like we just mentioned, the e.l.f. camo, camo blush, that one is almost so pigmented that you really have to try to apply a thinner layer, and you kind of have to focus on it. If you just tap it on like I did with this one, you will end up with way too much. So this is a really, really great, I would say, like beginner friendly liquid blush if you're worried about kind of over applying. It does blend so beautifully into the skin. I just feel like I might have more on this side. Does it look uneven? Maybe not. Okay. Let's check. Thanks for clearing that up. Milani's my longtime fave. Yeah, Milani's such a great brand. I love so much. And a lot of Milani products too. I mean, you know, in the beginning, I used their Blur Primer. I don't know where I put it. Oh, this one. A lot of their products now are coming out of Korea or Italy, and I can just tell that their formulas are really elevating and becoming more of that like skincare makeup hybrid because, you know, you're getting kind of like that K-beauty edge with some of them. I'm pretty sure this one, yeah, this one's made in Korea. So this is the primer that we used today that I really like. Now for my highlight, I mean, I feel like I have a lot of dew already going on. I'm kind of tempted to skip an additional highlight, which is very not like me. I like to really beam and glow. Maybe I'll just tap on a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. I think I'm gonna tap on a little bit of, if y'all watch my videos regularly, then you know what I'm gonna tap on, don't you? It's the ColourPop Glazy Stick. This is their light sticks in the shade Glazy. This is my all-time favorite cream highlighter. I feel like it matches every look because it is a more neutral champagne. And I mean, I know sometimes when I mention this in videos, I'm like, ugh, they're gonna be so bored of me always talking about this highlight, but it's my favorite highlight. It's been years. This is still my go-to. And I feel like that's the more valuable information that is helpful to you. Like this is a product that is a ride or die for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap just a tiny, tiny bit on like at the top of my cheekbones, but I'm not gonna bring it in all the way just because I do have some of that natural glow. Well, maybe not natural. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's my liquid blush. I have a little bit of that boosted glow with all of these cream products, but I'll just add a tiny, tiny bit more. I'm excited to see your finished look. Is your eyeshadow pink? Yeah, it is kind of like it's from the Smoke and Roses palette. If you're just joining, we used the ColourPop Smoke and Roses eyeshadow palette, and it's kind of a rosy, coppery pink we got going on today. I'm really liking how, and I think it's gonna really complement my green dress that I have. Again, if you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me there because I will post like the finished look with my outfit and everything and my hair not looking like this. Pretty smart. I bought several things for me and gifts for others. Oh, I'd love to know what you love from the brand. I do have a whole video about the Pretty Smart brand where I do a full face with all of their products, and I was really impressed. I misjudged the brand because, to be honest, their packaging is just a little basic and it looked cheap, and some of their packaging is a little cheap. Like it's cardboard with like the magnetic closures, which I don't like. It doesn't feel sturdy, but the formula is so good, so good. And you know, you think about where they have to cut the costs because they're providing such high quality formulas for under $10. I'll take cheaper packaging. I just know that I probably wouldn't travel with some of those compacts that are cardboard, but this is, you know, this is kind of the same as the Wet n Wild liquid blush. So this would be fine to travel with. I don't think that the top would crack or anything like that. Okay, we are at the end of the makeup look. We just got to do lips, and I do have one new product that I want to try for my lips. But before I put that on, well, you know, I was going to use this Sachu lip stain, but I feel like that's not going to be a good idea for a live because I have to leave this on for 15 minutes before I peel it off, and I did not think ahead about that. So let me see. I might, how do I want to do this? What lip? Any lip suggestions? I'll leave it up to you. I need a lip liner suggestion. Should I use ColourPop? The only thing is, okay, I'll just tell you, I'm using a new lip oil today. And the thing with ColourPop, even though they're my favorite lip liners, they dissolve under lip oil because they're meant to be removed with lip oil and they're so creamy. So that's why I was gonna use a lip stain. You know what? I'm just gonna apply this. I'm gonna apply this alone, and then we'll see what happens, and I will update y'all on Instagram if I end up adding to my lip look. But I wanna try this. This is the new L'Oreal Plump Ambition Hyaluron Lip Oil. So let me get my notes here because this is a brand new product. This is $10.99. Now, I have thoughts because I feel like L'Oreal is like the last brand to get around to putting out a lip oil, right? Lip oils have been the it product for over a year now, and they finally got around to it. I will say with L'Oreal, I feel like they kind of jump on trends late, but then they do them really well. So, you know, but $10.99 is a lot, especially when my favorite lip oil is from e.l.f. And that's like, what, $6, $7, I want to say. But this is not only a lip oil, it is a plumping lip oil. So this offers, this has hyaluronic acid and tripeptides for instantly smoother, plumper looking lips with a glass-like shine and a lightweight non-stick formula with a comfortable lip plump result. Gentle lip sensation, suitable for even sensitive lips, which is absolutely me. My lips are always chapped. They're always sensitive. So a lot of lip plumpers end up making me feel like I've been chewing on glass. And I do have a whole video about like the most popular drugstore lip plumpers. Do they actually work? What's the long-term results of using them for a week? I wasn't impressed with a lot of the popular ones. So we'll see how this goes. They do claim that this is gonna offer you 24 hours of hydration and plumping. That's interesting because a lot of the drugstore lip plumpers that I've used, the effects, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen that video, they last maybe 15, 30 minutes tops. But also 24 hours of hydration. You know, L'Oreal is the most guilty of this. They come out with these ridiculous claims of like 24-hour wear, 30, I think the new Infallible foundation is like 32-hour wear. Who's wearing their makeup for 32 hours? Please don't be. Please don't be. We don't need 32 hours. You know what I mean? So if that's where like the price is coming in, you know what I'm saying? If that's why this is $11 because it offers the full 24 hours, it's like, I didn't need that. So, okay, this is the shade Worth It, which is a classic L'Oreal shade. I have their lip liner in Worth It. Oh, maybe that's what I should use. Okay, wait. Hold on, let me grab it. I have the L'Oreal lip liner in Worth It. I also have their Color Riche lipstick in this shade too. Okay, one moment. Elevator music. Elevator music. just gonna grab my whole, I'm just grabbing my whole lip liner box here that I keep in my drawer because I didn't realize that I had the matching shade. Here it is. I have so many lip oils. Do lip oils dry your lips out afterward? That's my concern. I don't find that they do, but I mean, I'm switching between lip oils and normal lip balm. Like, you know what like lip oil isn't the only type of lip care product that I'm using, but I do not find that they dry out my lips. I just have chronically dry lips because I live in the desert and I also chew on my lips as a nervous habit, and that does not help. I don't do Instagram, but I should follow you on Instagram. I mean, hey, if you have an account. I also do giveaways on Instagram that I don't necessarily do on YouTube. So that's also a reason why you can follow me there. Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Jeannie. I try to keep things honest. I mean, otherwise, what's the point, right? I mean, I'm going to tell you what I like and what I don't like. Okay, here we have Worth It. I'm going to swatch it first just to make sure we've got the right shade here. So that's Worth It, the liner, and let's put it next to Worth It, the lip oil. Yeah, I think that's gonna look good. Nice. Well, that worked out. Okay. And since the brand is from the founder of the balm, their packaging was cardboard. Okay, that's true, Jeannie. And going back to the Pretty Smart brand, the balm also used cardboard packaging, and the whole thing was that it was recyclable. So that's also a very good point. Okay, so I'm gonna start out. This is the L'Oreal Color Riche lip liner in Worth It, and hopefully it doesn't dissolve under the lip oil. But I usually like using the Sachu lip stain under lip oils because it does not dissolve. So once, like, you know, when the lip oil kind of wears off, you actually have something left underneath. But it definitely isn't the most convenient product to use on a live stream because you have to let it dry completely. Milani lip stain. Yeah, I did have the Milani lip stains as well, but I really wanted to use this lip oil. And the Milani lip stains are kind of like a two-in-one, right? Because it's a lip stain, but it's also got that glossy finish. So you can't really use it as a lip liner, you know what I mean? Oh, I guess, yeah, I have a CoverGirl lip stain that can be used as a lip liner, but it's like bright red, so wouldn't quite do the trick. But I do have a video, if you haven't seen it yet, testing out all the popular drugstore lip stains and kind of ranking them based on comfort and longevity. So check that one out. The Juvia's Place lip oils, they tend to be dry if you use them over and over. Oh, I wonder what oil they use their lip oil, they use in their lip oil, because every lip oil uses different featured oils. Okay, that looks good. The lifter liners. The Maybelline lifter liners, I've had so many people recommend those to me, and I still haven't gotten around to trying them out. Okay, let's try out this plumping lip oil. I will let you know how it feels. Ooh. Coming out of the tube, it looked like very creamy just on this applicator, but it actually swiped on very thin. It feels very, very nice. So like I said, it's on the thinner side. I'm building it up just a little bit, and it feels very cushy, not sticky at all. Now, I am feeling a little bit of something happening, and I got a little bit on my tongue, and I can feel it on my tongue too. It's tingling. It doesn't hurt. It's not stinging. I'd want to say it's like, it's not exactly, it's closest, the closest way I can describe it just off the top of my head is there's almost a cooling sensation, like a cooling tingling. It's not hot though. It's not hurting. So interesting. It's like a hybrid plumper oil. So here, this is exactly what I'm saying. L'Oreal is so late to the game on both lip plumpers and lip oils, but then they come out with a dual product that I don't feel like I've seen from any other brand. They figure out a way to make the trend new, and that I appreciate because I do get kind of bored sometimes. The stinging is intensifying. It's intensifying a little bit. It doesn't hurt still, but it's there. I do get a little bored sometimes when every brand, like for a whole season, it's just lip oil, lip oil, lip oil, lip oil. And it's like, okay, I've already found one that I like. I don't need to try 10 other ones. Or this past summer, bronzing drops, liquid bronzer, bronzing drops. And I'm like, it doesn't, like, once a brand gets it right, I just am not interested in really trying many more. This makes me actually interested again in having something different in my collection. Okay. I don't find that this one's painful. Yeah, I don't think this one's painful either. So Sierra, is it Sierra? No, it's Clara. Sorry, my eyesight. It's not painful. It's definitely tingling though. I like it. It's really pretty. Now, did we see it might be hard to tell because we've just been talking. Are we seeing a plumping sensation or a plumping effect? I think at the most, I was going to say at the most, I was seeing maybe my lip lines sort of smooth out with the plumper. So it's plumping out the volume, or, you know, it's giving me a little bit more volume to fill out the lip lines. I can kind of see it. Maybe. What do we think? Consensus? What do y'all think? I love this live chat room, Spark, full of women exchanging their knowledges. That's exactly why I want to do more lives. This is such a fun community that y'all, like, y'all really make this community so fun. The comment section to the live chat. So thank you so much for being here. Miranda, do a video on the Maybelline liners. I will. I just need to buckle down and get them because you are not the first person that says that I need to try them out. I love all the people in the chat. We're just going back and forth, but the tingling is dying down a little bit. So it was very short-lived. I will say, talking about Maybelline, their lip plumper, if you haven't seen my lip plumper video, that lip plumper stung for like 30 plus minutes. That felt terrible. This one, immediately the sensation's already dying down, which does lead me to question how long the plumping effect will actually last, because it said 24 hours hydration and plumping. I mean, I can kind of see a little bit of it, like I said, with the smoothness, but I don't think lip plumpers are necessarily meant to like blow up and fill out your lips to the point of lip filler. And I think that's where the lip liner can really come into play. Jamie Lynn says, I feel like it looks a bit smoother for sure. Yeah, I agree. I think that's what, that's where the plumping is coming in. Clara agrees. I think the lines look smoother, and that's pretty much what will make your lips look plumper. I just used those Makeup Revolution, what are they called? Air Fluff, Air Matte. Watch my last video. I used new matte liquid lipsticks from Makeup Revolution, and they smoothed out my lip line so much that it did give me that plumping look. And it was actually insane. So if you haven't seen last week's video, definitely do that. Okay, super happy with where we're at. I'm gonna add a little bit more foundation over my chin, just because I think I was resting my hand on my chin while doing my eye makeup a bit. And then I'm gonna set my makeup, and then I'm gonna go because it's time for my birthday party. I'm just reapplying anywhere I feel like I might have touched my face or sweat off my makeup. What time is it? 4:38. I've got plenty of time. I gotta finish up my hair and iron out my dress. We are in good shape. Let me zoom you out now. What is everyone's weekend plans looking like? Does anyone have anything exciting going on? Nothing hurts more than the NYX Duck Plump, in my opinion. That one hurt too. Yeah, just watch that video. I compare all of them. I did NYX Duck Plump, Milani, because they have a lip plumper, and the Maybelline one. And yeah, none of them were really pleasant, but the whole thing with lip plumpers, technically, is that they're using an irritant to increase blood flow to your lips. That's literally what most plumpers are doing. So they're using chili resin, they're using peppermint, they're using something that is going to give you basically a mild allergic reaction. I was going to say chemical reaction, which I guess is true too. So that's why, you know, it really depends on your sensitivity, how much something is going to hurt and how much something is going to work. Because with those, with the ones that use chili, if you eat a lot of spicy food and you're used to having chili on your lips, those ones aren't going to work as well because you've like built up an immunity to them. And that's why in general, I felt like the whole plumping craze was kind of a flash in the pan because eventually you're gonna build up an immunity to it. I just think it's much more worth learning to overline your lips with liner, which is going to last you much longer than a plumping lip gloss and with much less pain. But like I said, this sensation has already died down a lot. I'm seeing the effect. I am curious to see how long it lasts for sure. And I can do an update on the newer products that I tested in this video once I've kind of tested them a few more times. Oh, thank you so much, Clara. Thank you, Chris. All right, I'm finishing up with my Milani Make It Last setting spray. This jumbo one is $20. I want to say it's at Target and Ulta. I did link it on this video and so worth it because I go through the little ones. I don't even have one anymore. I just finished it. I go through the little ones so quickly. Although they're good for travel, but this one's good for at-home use. Now, I'll leave you with one last tip before we leave the live stream, okay? Put on your setting spray and then take your sponge and just pat over where you feel like your makeup wears the most. So for me, it's on my forehead, like in my expression line. Sorry, I was blocking you with my mirror. Over my expression lines on my forehead, I'm just patting in and in my laugh lines. And this is really going to press in the setting spray over your makeup and kind of lock it in. I just started doing this and I've seen a massive difference. So I'll probably do like a reel on it soon for the people who didn't catch this live, but y'all heard it here first. And on the sides of my nose, like anywhere you feel like your makeup wears first, just press in the setting spray. This will also probably help it really get in and not evaporate. All right, we are good. Oh, that's a great tip. Thank you. You are so welcome. We are in the same time zone. Cynthia, that's awesome. We got the PST crew. All right, thank you all so much for tuning in. This was so fun, and I'm glad that we got the quality stuff situated pretty quickly. And let me know how this stream looked and sounded to you. I definitely want to do more, maybe even once a month. Would y'all like that? And does this time work well for you? Let me know if there's other times that work. But thanks so much for tuning in. And thank you so much for the birthday wishes. Y'all were so sweet. This was such a fun, like, pre-celebration to going out, to spending it with the Slashed squad first. And then I'm about to go spend it with my in real life squad. So I will see y'all later. This is in place of the weekly video this week. So I will be back next week with regular programming.